let's dive into the wild world of cinema, where laughter meets adrenaline and action collides with comedy. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to embark on an exhilarating journey with the legendary duo of Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in the epic Rush Hour Trilogy. Get ready for some serious fun as we explore why this dynamic duo reigns supreme as the ultimate on-screen partnership in film history. Picture this: the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, the red carpet rolled out, and Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker step onto the scene. These two larger-than-life personalities brought a whole new meaning to the term dynamic duo. Their chemistry was electric, their performances charismatic, and their fusion of action and comedy was simply out of this world. It's safe to say they took the film industry by storm and left an indelible mark that still resonates with audiences today. First and foremost, let's talk about their mind-blowing talents. Jackie Chan, the master of martial arts and death-defying stunts, brought a level of physicality that was off the charts. His acrobatics and martial arts prowess had jaws dropping and eyes glued to the screen. I mean, come on, who else could perform such mind-boggling moves and leave us begging for more? Now, enter Chris Tucker, the whirlwind of infectious energy, impeccable timing, and razor-sharp wit. This guy could crack a joke and have you rolling on the floor with laughter before you even realized what hit you. His quick-witted humor perfectly complemented Jackie Chan's physicality, creating a harmonious blend of action and comedy that was unlike anything we'd ever seen. But it wasn't just their individual talents that made this duo shine. Oh no, it was their undeniable chemistry and camaraderie that took their partnership to new heights. On screen, they were like two peas in a pod, bantering back and forth, and engaging in playful rivalries that had us in stitches. Their characters, Detective Inspector Lee and Detective James Carter, came alive before our very eyes, and we couldn't help but root for them every step of the way. What made their chemistry even more entertaining was the clash of cultures and language barriers that they skillfully incorporated into the narrative. Jackie Chan's character, hailing from Hong Kong, and Chris Tucker's character, the loudmouth detective from Los Angeles, brought a whole new level of hilarity to their interactions. The misunderstandings and humorous situations that arose from their cultural differences had us laughing until our sides hurt. It was like a cultural rollercoaster ride that left us gasping for air between laughs. Now, let's talk about the heart and soul of the Rush Hour Trilogy, the perfect fusion of heart-pounding action and side-splitting comedy. These films knew how to keep us on the edge of our seats while simultaneously tickling our funny bones. Jackie Chan's breathtaking fight scenes and daring stunts had us gripping the armrests, while Chris Tucker's comedic brilliance and physical comedy provided the perfect counterbalance. The timing and pacing in these films were spot on. Just when the tension reached its peak during an intense action sequence, the comedy swooped in to save the day, allowing us to catch our breath and laugh before diving back into the next thrilling moment. It was a delicate dance between excitement and amusement that kept us engaged from start to finish. And speaking of laughter, let's not forget about the hilarious comedy that permeated the Rush Hour Trilogy. The banter and racial comedy between Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker's characters were pure gold. They turned cultural differences into a comedic playground, and we were more than happy to join in on the fun. Detective Carter's cluelessness about Asian customs and Detective Lee's fish-out-of-water moments in Los Angeles were the perfect recipe for laughter. It was all done in good fun, without resorting to offensive stereotypes, and that's something worth applauding. Their witty exchanges, playful insults, and clever comebacks showcased their unique dynamic and made us fall in love with their friendship. There was a genuine warmth and endearing quality to their banter that added depth to their characters and made us root for their success. Of course, we can't talk about the Rush Hour Trilogy without highlighting the jaw-dropping action sequences that made us hold our breath in awe. Jackie Chan's mastery of martial arts and his fearlessness when it came to performing his own stunts brought an unparalleled level of authenticity and excitement to the screen. We're talking about hanging from buildings, leaping from one moving vehicle to another, and engaging in intense fight scenes that left us with our hearts in our throats. It was a visual feast for action enthusiasts, and Jackie Chan delivered every single time. But let's not forget the spectacular set pieces that provided the backdrop for these mind-blowing action sequences. The Rush Hour Trilogy spared no expense in creating visually stunning environments, from bustling cities to lavish casinos. These grandiose settings elevated the action and made it an integral part of the film's appeal. We were transported to iconic locations and treated to visually dynamic spectacles that took our breath away. Now, it's important to acknowledge that times have changed, and what was once considered hilarious might not sit well with today's more sensitive society. The Rush Hour trilogy was a product of its time, and attempting to replicate the same approach to comedy and cultural stereotypes might face significant challenges in today's world. Today's society is a lot more sensitive, and the comedy in this movie trilogy would never go down well amongst new viewers. You know, sometimes even the best intentions can't save a project from going downhill. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened with the ill-fated attempt to remake the beloved Rush Hour trilogy for the small screen. Fans of the original films were cautiously optimistic when they heard about the TV adaptation. After all, the Rush Hour movies had set the bar pretty high, and the prospect of seeing more of that dynamic chemistry between Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker was undoubtedly enticing. But alas, what we got was a disappointing shadow of its silver screen predecessors. From the get-go, it was clear that something was amiss. The magic that made the Rush Hour movies so special seemed to have been lost in translation. The new cast, Justin Hires as Detective James Carter and John Fu as Detective Jonathan Lee, struggled to capture the charisma and chemistry that made the original duo so beloved. The spark just wasn't there. Perhaps it was the limitations of the small screen format or the inability to find actors who could match the larger-than-life presence of Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. Whatever the case may be, the remake show failed to recapture the essence of what made the Rush Hour trilogy such a hit. The writing also played a significant role in the downfall of the remake show. The witty banter and clever humor that were trademarks of the films seemed forced and lackluster in this new iteration. The jokes fell flat, the timing was off, and the overall comedic tone failed to hit the mark. It was as if the showrunners were trying too hard to replicate the success of the films without understanding what made them work in the first place. And let's not forget about the action. The Rush Hour movies were known for their breathtaking stunts and meticulously choreographed fight scenes. Unfortunately, the remake show couldn't hold a candle to the original's action sequences. The fights lacked the intensity, the stunts lacked the daring, and the overall execution was underwhelming. It felt like a watered-down version of what we had come to love. Ultimately, the failed remake show served as a reminder that not every successful movie can successfully make the transition to the small screen. The Rush Hour trilogy had a unique charm and energy that couldn't be replicated, no matter how hard they tried. It left fans longing for the magic of the original films and wishing they had never attempted the remake in the first place. So there you have it, folks. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in the Rush Hour trilogy were a match made in cinematic heaven. Their complementary talents, electric chemistry, seamless fusion of action and comedy, impeccable timing, and unforgettable banter made them the ultimate duo in film. They brought us laughter, excitement, and a sense of unity that transcended cultural barriers. So let's raise a glass to these cinematic legends and relish in the joy they brought to our screens. Cheers!